Where in the world am I? I'm in San Diego today. Hi there, I'm Dr. Mary Travelbest, coming to you from a recent trip to South Korea. Now sharing my best travel ideas. I'm about to launch on a 90-day trip around the world. Listener story spotlight. I'm going to tell you about a friend and a listener named Lois who recently went to Hawaii. She told me about how she spent a lot of time getting travel insurance for herself and her partner, and she had to pay more than she expected, as her partner was having a birthday between the day she bought the service and the day of the trip. But she said it was well worth it for her peace of mind. So the FAQ today is, where is the best travel insurance for a long trip abroad? And I'll start by saying I don't buy travel insurance, but I know a lot of people do, and it does make sense for many travelers. So I'm going to give you a few ideas. First, start with a neutral comparison engine, and you can see this in the show notes. So one place is Square Mouth. So you can go comprehensive or medical only to see apples to apples pricing. And again, I've got the link in the show notes. This lets you price 30-day single trip plans from dozens of underwriters side by side, and then click through to the policy certificate in one step. Now, a second one is Insure My Trip. It's basically the same data feed as Squaremouth, but different sort logic. And that gives you consumer written claim reviews, plus AM Best financial ratings right in the results grid. And lastly, travelinsurance.com. This pulls quotes from some insurers that don't feed aggregators like Alliance higher tier plans and lists AM Best scores. Take a skeptical check. All three make a commission. None of them has every carrier, so run your trip through at least 2 engines and see if the so-called cheapest plan really is. So then you can cross-reference with an independent ranking list. U.S. News Best Travel Insurance Companies 2025 ranks plans by coverage and claim paying history, not advertising spend. It's a fast way to see which names consistently show up in the top tier. Then you can find out what other solo women say. SoloTravelerWorld.com keeps an updated best travel insurance for solo travelers guide that spells out what to look for if you're traveling alone, single supplement benefits, harassment coverage, 24-hour crisis lines. And then AbsolutelyLucy.com lays out 5 red flags that matter disproportionately to women, like personal assault medical limits, emergency contraception exclusions. So read these before you fall for the glossy Instagram ads that treat female friendly as a slogan. Next, you should kick the tires on the insurer's own site. If the plan looks good in a marketplace, open the policy certificate directly on the carrier's website, like World Nomads or Safety Wing, Alliance, IMG, etc. World Nomads publishes unfiltered claim reviews, which could be useful for sniffing out chronic payout delays. And the U.S. State Department's insurance coverage overseas page makes it crystal clear that Uncle Sam does not pay your hospital bill or med evac. It also links to the embassy medical resources for every country, which tells you how far the nearest trauma center is from your trekking trail. You should also double check your credit card benefits. Some cards you might have in your wallet could cover trip delay, baggage loss, or secondary car rental insurance. The points guy keeps a running tally of cards whose built-in coverage is worth something and where the gaps are. So to use these resources efficiently, quote your exact dates. Don't round your trip to a calendar month, so excess days will add cost. Filter for medical and evac first. Those are the 2 benefits that can bankrupt you. Ignore marketing buzzwords like explorer or adventure until you've opened the PDF certificate and searched for the activity you actually plan to do. Run your final 4 shortlist past recent claim reviews to see if the carrier ghosted people during COVID or the Israeli Gaza cancellations, and then purchase directly from the insurer once you've chosen. That avoids aggregator change fees if you need to modify dates. Stay curious, question every top 10 list's methodology, and you'll land the coverage that fits your risk profile, nothing more and nothing less. Now let's talk about a confidence challenge, right? 3 things. You got to have a neighborhood selection, you want daylight itineraries, and you want scam avoidance. So those are 3 things that you want on your trip. Select walkable neighborhoods with public transportation nearby if you don't drive, and read reviews on Airbnb website before you select a accommodation. So when you're booking a flight or train, be sure it arrives at a daylight time, which can differ in winter months. If it comes in after dark, it will be more of a challenge for you. And to avoid scams, be cautious when choosing passwords, logging out of websites, and making online purchases. These are very typical scams. If you are suspicious, you may be right to avoid that vendor and choose another. Don't look like a target either. So if you like today's confidence challenge, you might want to read chapter 1 of my book that dives deeper, and you'll see a link in the description. You can find it on the website, 5stepstosolotravel.com, or you'll find the series on Amazon. Now, today's destination, let's get to South Korea. I visited South Korea last month. I landed at Seoul's Incheon Airport. My Korean pronunciation is not good, so please understand that I'm not that good at the Korean language. I was excited, though, to see the city through the eyes of my friend Chris. I was whisked away to a hot pot dinner, then taken to the French neighborhood in Seoul, where I rested for the night. The next morning, I drove south to visit a town about 2 hours away and stayed in Wolbong-ro in Seobok-gu, near Seongjeong. So what is South Korea? Well, it's about the size of the state of Virginia. And you could also compare it to the size of the country of Hungary. So if you took the size of the entire peninsula, you would say it's the same size as Minnesota or the country of Great Britain. Now, I was only there for a few days, but during this time, I was able to see a lot of Seoul and explore some places to share with you. For example, the Seoul Noryanglang Fisheries wholesale market is 5 stories tall and open to the public for free. It's definitely worth seeing if you like seafood, and you can roam the aisles looking for your favorite fish delicacies. I also visited the Vovo Bidet Company. I met with the director and some of his team. Have you seen the #1 bidet firm in Korea? They have retail and wholesale offices in the Los Angeles area too. I like the tour of the offices here in Seoul. They even have a bidet to go. Think about that for a minute. That was in Daebang-dong or Seocheong-dong. So I visited retail stores such as Zara, one of my favorite fashion stores. I had Chinese, Japanese, and fusion foods. I took subways, buses, taxis, and Ubers, plus lots of trains. And I then went to the Gwanghwamun Square, the Purple Station, number 9. I went to the shopping mall called the Hyundai and found stores like Zan Mang Lupi, the Hyundai Present, and a great coffee and tea shop. I learned about Hangul, the Korean alphabet, and saw the statue of Sejong the Great. There was also another statue of Admiral Yi Sun-sin. Now, the Bucheon Honok village is a quiet residential area nearby, and the Jogigasa temple is where you will see Buddhism. Hongdae is the neighborhood for independent artists. And Yonsei University was a place I wanted to visit next time. I was in the neighborhood and really liked that. Was I a Gangnam Style? Well, I don't know, maybe next time. But I did try lots of new food, such as mung bean pancakes and holiek dessert. We had a wonderful dinner at Sushi Ya and Shabi Ya, about an hour from Seoul, near Korea Nazarene University in Cheonan-si, Buldang. I recommend, if you go back, spend some time relaxing in a tea house. Now, some smart moves and slip ups. In Korea, we were departing from the airport without enough money on our transit cards, so we had to pay. So we had to go to the office at the kiosk and pay for the train. It wasn't much, but it did take a few minutes. So give yourself extra time if you are headed to the airport. And now for a challenge. Do you or don't you tip? Not in South Korea, but it's always smart to ask. Be confident when you know when the expectations are what they are. And now for a resources roundup. If you're looking for more solo female travel resources, you can find several tips and ways to navigate the pitfalls, such as having to pay the difference on the transit card when you go long distances or knowing when to tip. And now a takeaway for you and a goodbye. When you get lost, don't get upset, get found. You will be better off if you cool down instead of heating your brain incorrectly. Chill, and you'll be found sooner. Dr. Travelbest's tip number 760. Thanks for listening.